everyone, and welcome back to RIZE Racing League. We are here with our Division 3 drivers here in China. We've had two exciting Chinese Grand Prix with our Division 1 and 2 drivers, and I am sure this is set to be another exciting one. We are on board with FTR Kyle, Williams driver, first out on track and first to set a flying lap, all being well. You can see that the conditions are good out on track for this qualifying session. Whether those conditions hold up throughout qualifying and also into the race will be a different story, but so far so good for these drivers. And FTR Kyle has started his flying lap as he makes his way down the pit straight. He's got DRS assistance and he absolutely swings at Williams into the right-hander, and he is navigating that corner very well. And you can just see how much speed he's carrying through those corners as he makes his way from Sector 1 into Sector 2. He has set a purple Sector 1 time, as you would expect, being the first driver out on track and the first driver to go for a flying lap attempt. Heading through Sector 2, still carrying good pace and speed as he makes his way into this left-hand corner. And it's a double apex there, and he hits that perfectly as he makes his way into Sector 3. He's got another long right-hand corner to negotiate, and this can be really tricky in terms of tyre temperatures, but he is handling that very nicely indeed. The car did not wobble at all there as he makes his way down the back straight. He's got DRS assistance, and he's making his way towards that hairpin corner in Sector 3. Again, bang on the money with that apex and heading towards the final corner off the lap. And it is a 1:32.2 for the Williams of FTR Kyle. He will be the first driver to set the benchmark for this session. And just going and having a look here at the matrix, he is just crossing the line with a 1:34.4 and his teammate with a 1:35.2, and Kraken in the Haas with a 1:33.7. so you can see there is quite a bit of a difference there in terms of lap time so far, as Nate in the Red Bull crosses the line with the 1:34.2. That is a very nice attempt indeed. Just having a look at Percy in the AlphaTauri, he is heading towards that line, and it is a 1:37.3 for the AlphaTauri driver. Quite a bit off the pace there. He's going to have to do a bit of work if he wants to make his way into Q2, and you can see there he was slowing down on track, and there was an Alpine driver behind him. Not sure if they were on a flying lap attempt or if they've just finished. They did set a time there for 1:34.9, so I assume they were on a cool down lap. Going on board now with the Red Bull of Isettens. He is on a flying lap attempt, and he has set a purple Sector 1 time there. That is an excellent effort there from the Red Bull driver, making his way into Sector 2. Very, very nice indeed. High settings. Heading down the back straight. It's got DRS there. His teammates up in P4 at the minute with their time of a 134.2. What time can High Settings get on the board here as he's making his way to that final corner? DRS assistance down the pit straight again. Very nice effort from the Mexican driver. It's a 133.6. Excellent effort indeed. Still have a couple of drivers who are yet to set lap times here. Just having a look at the Aston Martin driver, Dawson, who is on a flying lap attempt there. I believe. And he has slowed right down there, so it does look like he will be having to go again. We do have a couple of reserve drivers tonight, so we will expect them to set slow lap times as part of the league rules. So the likes of RKA25, iZombie and Bucko will all be setting slow lap times in this session, so we would expect them to be at the bottom or near the bottom of the grid during their time in this qualifying session. Ali in the Alfa Romeo has not come out on track yet, still in the pits. It does look, however, like we do have some activity there in the Alfa Romeo garage. Is it Ali coming out, or is it his teammate Late Bloomer? It is his teammate Late Bloomer who is coming out on track there. So we are yet to see Ali come out on track and set a lap time, and same to be said for ERS Hamilton, who is in the pits as well. I do believe he is facing some technical difficulties, but hopefully he can get in on time and set a lap time, fingers crossed. Alpine of L Powers currently on an outlap. His teammate up in P7 at the minute, so as it stands, Lou Powers will progress through to Q2, so I imagine L Powers will equally want to progress through to the next stage qualifying. So let's see what time the Alpine driver can get on the board. There we have the Alpine, and that was really unfortunate from the Alpine driver there. Just going wide on the last corner as he is getting himself set for his flying lap attempt, and that does unfortunately invalidate the lap, so he will need to go again if he wants to get a lap time on the board. But there is time to do so, over 7 minutes left on the clock, so plenty of opportunity to get that lap time on the board and hopefully progress through to Q2. Dawson also on an outlap as well, and we're still yet to see Ali come out of the pits and set a lap time. ERS Hamilton, I do believe, is still suffering from technical issues at the minute. Hopefully they can get on and set a lap time. So, I mean, as it stands currently, there is no driver really at risk. We do only have 14 laps on the board at the moment. Dawson's making his way down the back straight here. So he's preparing himself for his next flying lap attempt, and let's hope he can get a time on the board this time around and potentially get out of Q1 and progress through to Q2. We do have our first retiree of the session. It is A. Beatty in the Mercedes. It does look like he has retired on track there. Not exactly sure what's happened, but the marshals do appear to have cleared that car off the track really quickly. And A. Beatty in 15th place will not progress through to Q2 with that retirement, as Dawson misses, I believe he misses a braking point there. And has that lap invalidated, so he'll have to go again if he wants to get this lap time on the board. Riding on board again with Dawson in the Aston Martin. It does look like he is on a flying lap attempt here. He does have a little bit of company here in the form of the two Alpines just ahead of him down the back straight here, but he is making his way down. He's got DRS, and hopefully he can get a decent time on the board, because time is running out in this session. There is just over 2 minutes left on the clock. And the Aston Martin driver heads back into the pits again. Not sure what was wrong with that particular attempt. But either way, he is not happy and is heading into the pits. But he is under time pressure now. He will need to make this pit entrance a very quick one and get back out on track if he wants to set a respectable time that will see him through to Q2. And finally we see Ali coming on his out lap. There is not a huge amount of time left, so the Alfa Romeo driver is absolutely cutting it fine to try and get a very good lap time in indeed. There's 1 minute 30 left on the clock. He's about halfway through his out lap, and he'll obviously have to make it to the finish line on time to start his first flying lap of the session. Unbelievable from the Alfa Romeo driver, but let's hope he can pull something out of the bag here and come up with something good. Now 50 seconds on the clock. He is against the clock here now, but he absolutely should make it to the finish line on time, ready to start that flying lap attempt. And there we have it, down the pit straight the Alfa Romeo goes. He's got DRS assistance and absolutely sending it into turn one. That is a very good start for the Alfa Romeo driver as he makes his way into Sector 2, and that is a purple Sector 1 time for the Alfa Romeo driver. This is a fantastic start of his lap, which is really his only lap attempt in this session. There's a lot of pressure riding on this lap because one little mistake could absolutely be the end of that lap and potentially would mean the end of his qualifying. And there we have it. Track limits have caught Ali out after what was a fantastic start to the lap. Ali will not progress through to Q2. Really unfortunate for the Alfa Romeo driver, who really just kind of cut it a little bit too late into the session to start his first flying lap attempt. He really needed to come out and get a bit of a feel for the track before setting his first flying lap attempt. So that's a really disappointing end to qualifying for the Alfa Romeo driver, but hopefully he can pull it back in the race and finish a lot higher come the race day. Hello everyone and welcome back. We are now into our Q2 coverage here in China, and you can start to see we do have a couple of drivers on different tyres, and this is where strategy starts to come into play. The tyre that the drivers set their fastest lap time on in this session will be the tyre that they start the race on. So that is quite important in terms of strategy. So you can see it does look, as it stands, that the majority of drivers have the soft tyre on for the race start. We do have 4 drivers with the medium tyres potentially, and that is Dawson, FTR Kyle, Late Bloomer and Smoose. You also really need to be careful in this sort of Q2 session of qualifying, because you really want to kind of nail your lap in one lap. You don't want to do more than one lap on your tyres, because the more laps that you're doing on your tyres, the more they're going to degrade, which means that whenever you come to race start, if you are up against a driver who has maybe only done 1 lap and you've done 2 laps, then effectively your tyres are 50% more degraded than theirs, which means the performance that you're getting out of your tyres and the life that you're getting from those tyres is really not all that good. Now just going on board here with Nate as he is heading down the pit straight. He's got DRS open and he's got those soft tyres fitted, and he is on the first flying lap of this session. So let's see what the Red Bull driver can put on the board with the soft tyres. Into sector 2 the Red Bull goes. And all things considered, this is a very decent lap indeed from the Red Bull driver. And down the back straight, he's got DRS assistance. And heading towards the hairpin. Hard braking zone there, but he navigates it very well indeed as he heads now towards that final corner. Absolutely throwing the car at the corner, going a bit wide, but thankfully not out of track limits, and that's a 134.3 for the Red Bull driver. FTR Kyle crosses the line with a 133.1 on the medium tyres. That's a very, very nice time indeed from FTR Kyle on those medium tyres. Got a couple other times coming in there. Percy with a 136.3 and Matrix with a 133.6. That is up into P2 for the Ferrari driver. And his teammate Smoose with the medium tyres is currently on a flying lap attempt through sectors 2. As Kraken crosses the line of 133.2 on the soft tyres, that is good enough for P2, and that is a good attempt indeed. RIZE settings. Now crossing the line down the pit straight, and it is the fastest lap time of the session. It is a 1:33, and that is 1/10 faster than FTR Kyle. But bear in mind the difference in terms of the tyres. RIZE settings on the soft tyre and FTR Kyle on the medium tyres. So come restart, that will be really interesting to see if those two guys will be starting alongside each other or near each other in the race start. It'll be interesting to see how that strategy works for them. Just having a look at Smoose, he has invalidated that lap attempt, so he will need to go again. And this is where we're talking about the amount of laps that you're doing on your tyres. So that is already 1 lap down on the medium tyres, and he's going to have to go again on those medium tyres if he wants to get a lap time on the board. So already he's got an extra lap on his tyres in comparison to the majority of the grid, although it does look like Percy has set another lap on the soft tyres and is on for another one again. Just having a look now at the Alpine of Lou Powers on the soft tyres. His teammate up in P8 in the medium tyres. What can he do with the softs? It is... or actually, it is the medium tyre for Lou Powers. Apologies for that, but that is a 135.3, and that is good enough for P6. So as it stands, we've got the Alpine drivers in P6 and 9, both drivers opting for that medium tyre start. Will we change, or will we see that strategy change as we come more towards the end of the qualifying session? Because what we may find is, so for example, L Powers in P9 very much at risk of being eliminated from Q2 potentially, and actually he has been disqualified from the session. Not exactly sure what has happened there. I imagine the game is playing up a little bit. And Smoose on the medium tyres into that hard braking zone. Let's see what time the Ferrari driver can get on the board. His teammate in P4. Where are we going to find Smoose? Is P6 on the medium tyres, and the Ferraris have, as it stands, split the strategy. 1 car starting on the soft tyres and 1 car starting on the medium tyres. Very interesting indeed from those two. The only driver yet to set a lap time is Dawson. He is opting for those medium tyres potentially, and he looks to start his first flying lap. And actually we can see while it says the medium on the board, it actually is the soft tyre. You can see that red stripe on the tyre, but what you can't see is his helmet. Dawson is not racing with a helmet here in China. That is a real concern for health and safety for the Aston Martin driver, but it appears he does not give a shit. So let's see what this Aston Martin driver can do. Dawson is making his way through Sector 2, and he's heading towards the end of Sector 2 into Sector 3. At the moment, it looks like a very solid lap indeed. I wonder how much extra speed he's gaining, minus the weight off the helmet. He feels the wind rushing through his hair there as he makes his way down the back straight. And heading towards the final corner. Absolutely sends it through that final corner. DRS assistance for the Aston Martin driver, and he crosses the line. It's a 135 on the soft tyres. That's good enough for P7, and very much the potential to progress through to Q3, the top 10 shootout. So drivers at risk as it stands. AMG Smithy and Ross Wheels will be eliminated from the session based on those times. They are both reserving for tonight, so in theory will be eliminated for definite. Percy in P10, while will progress as it stands, is at risk. However, with AMG Smithy and Ross Wheels not setting any faster lap times, it does look like Percy will make his way through to Q3 as well. So I would expect a little bit of a quiet period here. Like I mentioned earlier, drivers really don't want to have to go out and set unnecessary laps on their tires if they don't have to. Just having a look at Matrix now in the Ferrari. So Smoose did set a 134.5 on the medium tires. Matrix set a 133.6 on the soft tires, but you can see the yellow stripe is fitted on that Ferrari, so it does look like he is trying to set a faster lap time on the medium tires. He is trying but not succeeding. As it stands, he is up 0.4 seconds on his best time. So can he find any time through sectors 2 and 3 to make up the difference to potentially start on that medium tire? Otherwise he may have dealt his hand and will be forced to start on the soft tire, as he cannot beat that fastest time. And you can see the Ferrari is slowing down quite a bit there. And you can also see the Alfa Romeo of Late Bloomer, who is on an invalidated lap attempt. And all cars are in the pits. Now it is just the AlphaTauri of Percy, who remains in P10, but as it stands will be progressing through based on that. So really no need to worry, no need to push that AlphaTauri too much, because you will be heading into the top 10 shootout. Just got 1.5 minutes left on the clock. And Percy is having another go anyway. The only driver on track. He's got all that space to himself. There we have it. That is the end of our qualifying session. And if my eyes do not deceive me, that is a spot of rain hitting the track. Could we be in for a wet finish here to qualifying top 10 shootout in the greasy conditions? Let's find out. And we are back now. Apologies for the delay. Just typical EA and Cody's just taking a little bit longer to load up there. But as you can see, we are back for a top 10 shootout, and it is set to be an exciting one. You can see all drivers have that green tyre equipped. It is the intermediate tyre. You can see the rain on the track, and it is going to be an exciting one indeed. FTR Kyle leads us away out of the pits. The Williams driver is the first driver on track and will be the first driver in theory to set a lap time, which will be the benchmark for other drivers for that provisional pole spot. And it is very brave going out on track in conditions like this first, because you never really know how much you can push the car, what the limits are. Can you, you may go over the limits a little bit. Sometimes it's good to maybe be, second or third driver out, so you can see what the other drivers are doing. You can see how much you can actually push the car. But FTR Kyle doesn't need that. He's a talented driver. He knows what he's doing here. And FTR Kyle is making his way down the back straight. DRS is disabled due to the weather conditions, I believe. And FTR Kyle is getting ready to start the first final lap of this session in the wet conditions. Let's see how he fares. He makes his way down that pit straight. He does not have DRS. Like I said, DRS is disabled. And you can see the brakes of that Williams roaring red as he is braking around that right hand corner. We do have all drivers out on track at the minute, and that absolutely makes sense, because the last thing the drivers want is to wait until later on in the qualifying session, where the rain has continued to go down. The track does continue to get wetter, and it then obviously costs you in terms of lap time, so you won't be able to set lap times that are as fast as what you could at the start of the oh my god. And the Williams off track, spins off track, just losing traction there. A little tap with the barrier, and thankfully nothing too major for FTR Kyle, but he will need to go again. Let's switch over to Matrix, the Ferrari driver, who will now be the first driver to set a provisional pole lap time. He will set the benchmark for the other drivers, and let's see what time that's going to be. Oh no! Matrix having a moment there as well, has to take onto the grass, and that's going to cost him severely in terms of time. And you can see he goes a little bit wide there as well, but he crosses the line with the 149, and Kraken with the 146.7. Alpars or Lupars with the 147.6, and Late Bloomer with the 146.7. It is neck and neck between Late Bloomer and Kraken. You can see drivers are setting times here. Let's see, Percy crosses the line, and Dawson just behind. So Percy with a 153 and Dawson with a 147, and that is good enough for P3 as it stands. As Smoosh in the Ferrari comes across with a 146.3. That is very good indeed. And let's see, ice settings, his teammate up in P6. Where can the Red Bull driver go? It is provisional pole for ice settings in the rainy conditions. Fantastic lap from the Red Bull driver. Obviously the favourite is FTR Kyle for provisional pole based on previous performances. He did have a moment, lose traction, spin and hit the barrier, but let's see what sort of time he can get on the board. He has saved 13 seconds off his previous lap time from where he had that spin. He has also set a purple sector 2 time. What can he do here in sector 3? It does look like he potentially may get a little bit of a slipstream here from Late Bloomer, who has already set a lap time. As far as I'm aware, I'm not sure if he is going straight into another flying lap attempt. Does appear so. And that could potentially jeopardize FTR Kyle's lap time there. And Kraken sets a 146 up into P2 for the Haas driver. And Late Bloomer with another attempt. He does save 6/10. P3, a 146, and it is very, very close between Isettens, Late Bloomer, and Kraken. But FTR Kyle, it didn't cost him too much time, because that does still get him up into 145.2 for the Williams driver, although it did take him an extra attempt in comparison to some of the other drivers. Dawson on another attempt here, and he hasn't found any time. He's going to go again. Got a lot of activity on track here, but no one who is really setting competitive times right now. Late Bloomer in the Alfa Romeo is going quite slow. Just having a look at Percy, who has saved a second on their time in sector 1. What can he find in sector 2? He's already second down on his best time. And it is 1.7 seconds in total, and he can find more time in sector 3. What can he find in sector 3? Oh, look at the rear end of that AlphaTauri. What an absolutely fantastic save from Percy. But that is absolutely going to cost him time. That time that he found, he has lost, but it does get him up in place from P10 up into P9. Now, Matrix is down 1/10 on his best time through sector 1. Can he find any more time in sectors 2 and 3? He really needs to try and do something on this lap, because conditions are not getting any better for the Ferrari driver. It is getting wetter and wetter out there. And 0.5 seconds have been found for Matrix. What can he find in sector 3? As it stands, that saving would bump him back up into P9, but can he find any more time? That is a very good time for Matrix, up into P6, just behind his teammate. As it stands, Ferrari 5-6 with 2 minutes left on the clock. Very nice indeed. Isettens is out at the minute. Not sure if it's a fast lap or an out lap for the Red Bull driver. RIZE Settings heads into the pits with just 1 minute and 20 seconds left on the clock. It does look like the Mexican driver has conceded the chance of getting provisional pole and will settle for P2 as it stands. But Late Bloomer in P3 is on an outlap. Can he challenge for that P2 spot or even potentially for provisional pole? And with just 20 seconds left on the clock, Late Bloomer crosses the line to start his flying lap attempt. It is the final flying lap attempt for the Alfa Romeo driver. Let's see what time he can find through this lap, and is it going to be good enough for provisional pole? It does look like the rain has potentially settled down a little bit on track. The track conditions are still very, very greasy and wet indeed, but there is still time to be found for Late Bloomer. Let's see what he can do as he makes his way into Sector 2, and he has not found any time just yet. He is up 1/10 on his best time, but can he find any more time in Sectors 2 and 3? And he is still not finding the time that he needs, but is there time to be found in Sector 3 for the Alfa Romeo driver, or will it be P3? And he does have DRS. DRS was not enabled before, so you can see the conditions are getting better, so potentially that may save him a little bit of time, but he is going wide there. He is suffering massively from understeer, and that causes him to just have a little moment and spin out on track there, and that is a disaster finish for Late Bloomer, who will finish up this qualifying session in P3. It is a very nice starting position for the race, although I get the feeling that the Alfa Romeo driver did want a bit more from that, and there was the potential to have a bit more. It's a shame the way it ended, but on to the race start. And we are back for our race start. FTR Kyle is leading us away on the formation lap. And you can see the weather has changed quite dramatically from where we finished off the qualifying session. Just looking back here now on the tyre strategy, you can see that the tyre strategy is absolutely going to be an interesting one here. FTR Kyle on the soft tyres alongside settings, but Late Bloomer opting for the medium tyres alongside Smooth in the top 5. You have a couple of drivers opting for the hard tyres from AMG Smithy right down to L Powers. The Alpine driver also opting for the hard tyres alongside iZombie and ERS Hamilton. V1 Jord down in P16 is also opting for the soft tyre. So it'll be interesting to see how he can work his way through the grid in the earlier opening stages of this race. It is a really tricky circuit to navigate this one, and the tyre degradation and tyre temperatures are hard to manage, so it's going to be a challenge for the drivers, and it'll be interesting to see who comes out on top with this one. And you can see the predicted pit stop strategy coming up there. It is predicting a 2-stop pit strategy. Some people may try 1 stop. I don't see how they will manage it with the tyre degradation on this track. I think the 2-stop strategy is the one. Let's see how we get on. As FTR Kyle is making his way around that final corner and along the pit straight, and he is looking to take his spot in the grid box, ready for the race start as he ghosts his way through the McLaren that is already on the grid, the McLaren of ERS Hamilton. And there we have it. All drivers are set on the grid, and we are waiting for those 5 red lights. And it is lights out, and away we go. FTR Kyle gets a fantastic start. iSetting's not the best start, and Late Bloomer does take advantage of that, even though he is on the medium tyres, and he is up into P2. iSettings does have a little bit of contact with Kraken, and he has to take onto the grass. That is not a great start for iSettings. Really not a good start at all. Late Bloomer and Kraken do have a bit of contact there as they go side to side racing, and Kraken is up into P2 with those soft tyres, and Bloomer and Smoss both on the medium tyres in P3 and P4 respectively. Just having a look, it has been a disaster start for iSettings, who has dropped right down into P16, but hopefully he can fight his way through the grid as he makes his way through the track. It is only lap 1 out of 28 laps. There is plenty of opportunity for iSettings to battle back into this race, but it is not the start that he was looking for. Hopefully he can recover nicely indeed. And you can see all the drivers heading down the back straight there. And Ali is already looking to make a move on Lupars. He's got the inside line down that hairpin. Lupars is fighting back. It's both drivers on the medium tyres, and Lupars does a fantastic job of holding off the Alfa Romeo, and the Alfa Romeo slots in just behind there. Can he get the move done down the pit straight? He is gaining, but he is not gaining fast enough to get the move done. But he is under pressure from V1 Jord. And V1 Jord on the soft tyres is looking for an opening here. And he does get the move on Ali, and now he's got his sights on Lou Powers. This soft tire is working fantastically for V1 Jord, as Lou Powers does move in on V1 Jord there. It does look like he lost traction a little bit, and V1 Jord had to back out of that move, and that is costing him time as Ali looks for the move there. He shoots it a bit further off the apex. V1 Jord keeps it tight to the apex, and Ali and V1 Jord have contact. Ali does spin as a result. He does a good job to mitigate the damage, but he has dropped down a little bit there. It's close racing from these drivers, as FTR Kyle has created a 2.7 second gap already, and Kraken's done a fantastic job of creating a 2 second gap to P3, so he is in a very comfortable position at the moment. Dawson 0.4 seconds off Smoose. He's got the soft tires equipped, and Smoose has got the medium tires on. And Dawson is getting that move done. Look at that, up in P4 for the Aston Martin driver. The soft tires are working right now, but if Smoose can just keep close to the Aston Martin, those soft tires will start to fall off a cliff at some stage. And just looking now at iSettings as he begins his recovery drive, he is down 8 places from where he starts as Ali DNFs. Not sure what's happened to Ali. He is off the track back there somewhere. Not a very good race for Ali, as he is the first driver to DNF in this session. And iSettings is off track again. Not sure what's going on there for the Red Bull driver. He did have to stop for a little moment. And iZombie is battling with Lou Powers. He's got the inside line. He gets the overtake ahead of the corner, and he's got those hard tires fitted. He is in for the long run on those hard tires. V1 Jord right, breathing down Dawson's neck. He's got DRS, but he doesn't need it. He's already getting the overtake done. And V1 Jord up into P4. Dawson slots into P5. And Smoose is putting pressure under Dawson. 0.4 seconds off. He hits that corner spectacularly. He's got DRS, but so does Dawson. He is gaining on the Aston Martin driver. Medium tires are starting to kick in now for the Ferrari driver. He's looking at the outside line. There's a little bit of contact there between the two drivers, but nothing that causes any damage for the two cars. And V1 Jordy is starting to close in on Late Bloomer. Again, it is soft versus medium tires. Just look how close the AlphaTauri is to the Alfa Romeo. It is Alfa versus Alfa, and the AlphaTauri does come out on top so far in that battle. The soft tires are working fantastically for V1 Jord as he moves up into P3, into that final podium spot, but it is not all said and done yet. Those soft tires will start to degrade a lot quicker, and Late Bloomer needs to keep close to V1 Jord with those medium tires if he wants any possibility of getting a podium tonight. Fantastic from our front two drivers, FTR Kyle and Kraken. FTR Kyle has created a 4.8 second gap to P2, and Kraken has a 3.6 second gap to P3. That is fantastic racing from these drivers. And Dawson is heading into the pits. He is on the soft tires. Is this a scheduled pit stop, or does he have any damage? It's hard to tell right now at this stage. It looks like it is a scheduled pit stop, So what he is doing here, he's on the soft tires. He is the first driver to pit. He is looking to do the undercut. So let's see how that works out for him. He was, I believe, around where iZombie was. So let's see what happens when the pit stops start to come through. Dawson comes out on the medium tires. He's still not wearing his helmet. I'm surprised the FIA are letting him away with that. Smooth still 0.4 seconds off Late Bloomer, and the gap between Late Bloomer and V1 Jord is increasing. So V1 Jord has created a gap of 1.8 seconds now over 2 seconds to P4. It's a fantastic start from V1 Jord, and Smooth will get DRS down the back straight here. He's used up quite a bit of that ERS's loop powers, DNFs, and we have a safety car out. And this is shaking things up. These boys who are on the soft tires, this is the prime time for them to pit. As you can see, FTR Kyle and Kraken are both into the pits alongside V1 Jord, and it does look like that undercut that Dawson had planned potentially doesn't work out quite as well for him, as the other drivers on the soft tires do get a cheap pit stop, half the amount of time that it took Dawson. And this is exactly what iSettings needs. He started on those soft tires. He had a bit of a disaster start. Not really sure. I don't believe it was any fault of his own, but he is now swapping over to the medium tires. The safety car is going to close that gap quite nicely to bring iSettings back into the fight. He's got the pace on this track, so it'll be really interesting to see where he can go from now. And you can see that Dawson in P9 in comparison to iZombie, I know he still needs to pit up in P3, but you have the likes of FTR Kyle and Kraken and V1 Jord, who all were on the soft tire, who have pitted. So I think that Dawson potentially missed a bit of an opportunity there in terms of his strategy, but how would he know the safety car would have came out? That is the luck of racing in some aspects here. So our front three drivers, Late Bloomer, Smooth and iZombie, are all on tires that they started the race on. Late Bloomer and Smooth on 5-lap old medium tires, and iZombie on 5-lap old hard tires. It'll be interesting to see how they fare against the likes of FTR Kyle, Kraken, who have pitted for a fresh set of new tires. And you can also see Late Bloomer catching up to the safety car there, and the rest of the grid starting to slot behind him quite nicely. And Late Bloomer into the pits, dropping right down to P13, but opting for those hard tires. That's an interesting strategy from the Alfa Romeo driver. That now pushes Smooth up into P1. 6-lap old medium tires, and iZombie just behind. Safety car still remains with us. You can see that the majority of the drivers have formed up, but behind the safety car we do have the likes of Al Powers, ABD and Nate, who are still to catch up to that safety car pack. So it does seem like the safety car may potentially be with us for at least one more lap. And it is one more lap with the safety car, I believe. This Moose is getting very friendly with the safety car. And there we have it, the confirmation that we need from race control. Safety car is in this lap. Smoose now has 7 laps on those medium tyres. That is going to be a bit of a challenge for him to hold off the likes of iZombie, FTR Kyle and Kraken behind, who are on fresher tyres with less degradation on them. See the Ferrari driver is just weaving from side to side, trying to get those tyres into the optimum working window ahead of the safety car restart. You can see the safety car is making his way through the hairpin corner there and making his way towards the pits. Smoose does control the pace off the pack and he is keeping it quite slow indeed, as he now hits the gas and he gets us going, as iZombie is looking for a move already. He is side by side with the Ferrari driver and he is looking for a move round the outside. And he can't get that move, but FTR Kyle is very eager to get the move done. And FTR Kyle gets the overtake on iZombie, who was looking for the move on Smoose. And this is one hell of a battle here. FTR Kyle now slots back into P3 as iZombie is now up into P1. And FTR Kyle overtakes Moose in the process and now got his sights on iZombie. FTR Kyle's got those fresh soft tires on. This should be a breeze of an overtake for him, but iZombie is not making it easy with his defending. He won't get DRS down this straight, but he will get a bit of a slipstream, but he doesn't need it because he gets the overtake done ahead of the back straight and he gets that move done as Smoose goes off track massively and V1 Jord sees an opportunity and he slots into P4 as Kraken is trying to do what he can to hold off V1 Jord, but there is not much he can do. V1 Jord's got the slipstream, he's got the overtake. V1 Jord is up into P3. iZombie is keeping close to FTR Kyle, but FTR Kyle does have good pace and he'll be looking to extend that gap again. got a little bit of a battle here between Isettens and Dawson. Isettens is having a look down the inside, but he was not close enough to get that move done. But he is keeping close to the Aston Martin. He is in an Aston Martin sandwich right now between Dawson and RKA 25. Again, this was not the start that Isettens was looking for, but he does have an opportunity to get back in the fight. V1 George is getting close to the iZombie. They're heading down the back straight here now, and V1 George got a good opportunity to get an overtake done down this back straight. Let's see what the AlphaTauri driver can do here. 0.3 seconds away. iZombie does move over to try and break that slipstream, and there is a yellow flag out for the Red Bull of Nate, I believe. And V1 George with the old switcheroo. And he gets the move on iZombie up into P2, up 14 places. V1 George is having a fantastic race right now. Isettens is getting close to Dawson. Ross Wheels does have a moment going off track that allows Isettens to take advantage of that, and he's getting a double overtake here, or he's trying to at least. Dawson is not making it easy for him. Late braking from the Red Bull driver, and he gets the overtake finally on Dawson. That was an excellent move from Isettens up into P6, and he's now got a 2.8 second gap to try and close to P5, and let's see what he can do to make a bit of a recovery here. The drivers do appear to kind of be bunching out a little bit. We do have Percy and Late Bloomer who are quite close together. Percy 0.3 seconds off Late Bloomer, who is 0.8 seconds off AMG Smithy. Oh, Percy has a spin, and there is a bit of contact with the barrier, but it is not enough to finish his race. And he has another spin. Those tire temps must be going through the roof right now. Percy drops right down there as Late Bloomer does get the overtake on AMG Smithy before the hairpin corner, and that is Late Bloomer up into P10. And RKA 25 has got the overtake on Isettens. Isettens has dropped down to P7 now, with RKA up into P6, but Smoose has gone off track and he is rejoining the track. He is vulnerable right now as RKA 25 is closing that gap. 0.4 seconds between RKA and Smoose. This is a prime time for RKA to try and get a move done on Smoose. What is it with these Aston Martin drivers? Neither of them are racing with helmets. Dawson has got no helmet. RKA 25 has got no helmet. Is this some left field strategy from Aston Martin? As Smoose has another moment there, and RKA 25 navigates very carefully through the incident and up into P5 Isettens, into P6, and Smoose slots in at P8. I imagine the tire temperatures on that Ferrari are through the roof right now. And Kraken is just 0.5 seconds off iZombie. He has got DRS on the McLaren. He's got late braking. He closes that gap quite significantly there. What can he do down the pit straight as FTR Cal sets the fastest lap time off the session? He has created a 4.3 second gap to V1 George, and he is having a very nice race so far. Isettens is keeping close to RKA 25, just 0.6 seconds between the Red Bull and the Aston Martin. Dawson equally in this fight, just 1 second off Isettens. Kraken is keen to get the move on the McLaren. He is not letting that gap grow. And we have yellow flags out somewhere on track. Can't see exactly where. It does look to be AlphaTauri of Percy. And he is slow in the next section as iZombie spins out and has contact with the AlphaTauri. Oh no, disaster for iZombie, who had a fantastic start to the race. He does have contact with Percy, and that potentially is wing damage for the McLaren, who may need to pit. And Kraken does slot up into P3. Very nice for the Haas driver, who did a good job to avoid any sort of contact with iZombie whenever he had his moment. And iSettings is still close to RKA 25, just 0.7 seconds. If he's thinking about two-stop strategy here, he could look to undercut RKA 25 and get the jump on the Aston Martin driver in the pits. As iZombie is heading into the pits, he must have wing damage. That is so unfortunate for iZombie, who had a fantastic start to his race. And you can see he hits the grid box there, and he actually doesn't have wing damage. He gets a set of medium tyres on, and I imagine what's happened is the tyre temperatures and the tyre degradation is just too much on those hard tyres, so he does need a new set of tyres on there. As Percy DNFs from the race, and we are down to the last 15 drivers. 5 DNFs so far. iSettings is not giving up on this battle just yet, but he cannot get the move done on RKA 25. RKA 25 is doing a fantastic job so far of holding the Red Bull at bay, but can he continue to do so, or will iSettings get the move done eventually? He's got DRS again, and he is closing the gap a bit more now. Late braking for the Red Bull into the hairpin. Just look at how close these two cars are. And it's prime time for the Red Bull down the pit straight. 0.4 seconds separating the two. iSettings does set the fastest lap time off the session. He is super close to that Aston Martin, but just not close enough to get a move done yet. Again, late braking for the Red Bull as he tries to keep up with the Aston Martin. He's doing a fantastic job to stay as close as he has so far. But how long can he keep up with the Aston Martin for? Oh, he goes a little bit wide there. And oh no! Not another moment for the iSettings. He just takes a little bit too much curb and loses traction, and that has cost him massively. You can see he was 0.5 seconds off RKA 25. He is now 3 seconds off RKA 25, and RKA 25 is now setting his sights forward on Kraken. 0.5 seconds off. And just look how close he is to the Haas now. Oh, Kraken trying to defend, but there is not much he can do against a raging Aston Martin. And RKA 25 up into P3, but Kraken is fighting back, but RKA 25 is trying to close that gap. There is a bit of contact between the two drivers there. And it remains as is, RKA 25 in P3, Kraken in P4. And there is yellow flags out on track there. Oh, it's V1 Jord. What has happened to V1 Jord? He slowed right down and he now drops down into P4. And Kraken and RK25 get the overtake, although V1 Jord is within Kraken's DRS range here, so there is an opportunity to get that position back. Not sure what happened for the AlphaTauri driver, but he is still up 12 places from where he started the race. It's a fantastic race so far from V1 Jord, as there is 12 laps remaining in this race. And FTR Kyle is just completely flying now. He has a 12-second lead to RK25. Unbelievable lead from FTR Kyle. He's in a world of his own. And V1 Jord is getting close to Kraken now. Kraken's doing a good job of keeping the door closed. And you can see iSettings in the background is starting to catch up to V1 Jord again after his little moment. And V1 Jord does get ahead of Kraken there. That was a fantastic move from the AlphaTauri driver. And back up into P3, V1 Jord goes. Kraken's not giving up easy yet. And you can see V1 Jord does not have a lot of ERS left, as Kraken does get a move on the inside there. V1 Jord just leaves the door wide open for Kraken, and Kraken is back up into P3. But who gets DRS? I didn't see who was ahead going into the DRS detection zone, and actually it was V1 Jord. That was potentially a smart move from V1 Jord to take back DRS off Kraken. It's a late lunge from V1 Jord, who has contact with the Haas and almost spins out. That was a very risky move indeed, and really shouldn't have been considered at that stage, because he will have another opportunity. He's got DRS again, and Kraken is doing what he can to hold off the AlphaTauri, but with DRS there's not much he can do, and both drivers are literally not giving each other an inch. It is so close between these two, and it is actually a very good battle to watch indeed. It's just aggressive driving, just right on the limit. And the battle between these two is actually allowing iSettings the opportunity to close that gap. And now what he has is a good opportunity here to almost watch these two battle it out, and potentially have an opportunity to slot in whenever one of them makes a mistake. So really, he doesn't want to get too ahead of himself or too aggressive. He just want to kind of follow behind, see what's going on ahead of him, and hope that there's an opportunity soon. There is 10 laps left in the session. There is plenty of opportunity for iSettings to get that move done. So let's see what happens. He is within DRS range of V1 Jord, and V1 Jord is within DRS range of Kraken again. 0.3 seconds between these two drivers. There we have it, DRS for V1 Jord. And there is blue flags for Alpars as V1 Jord tries to get a move on Kraken. He's got the inside line. He goes a bit wide there, and Kraken does have a look for the move back, but there was not much opportunity for that. And Kraken heads into the pits, and so does iSettings, and V1 Jord is left out. Now this is going to be interesting, as Kraken and iSettings are going for an undercut strategy on V1 Jord. So let's follow V1 Jord and where he's going, and let's see where he comes out, or if he decides to pit in this lap. And you can see the Haas heads out, but he is right under pressure from the Red Bull. Oh, that was close between the Haas and the Alfa Romeo of Late Bloomer. Kraken is trying to get a move now on Late Bloomer. The Alfa Romeo on the hard tires, Kraken on fresh softs. He's on the outside, but he has got the momentum and the pace to get the move done, and he does. And Isettens now equally looking to try and get that move done, and he's got the inside line. He gets the overtake done, but he hits too much of the curb there. Almost has a moment spinning out, but he does a fantastic job to keep that car on track, and now he is 0.8 seconds behind Kraken. Question is, can he keep within that distance going into the DRS detection zone, and can he potentially get an overtake on Kraken down the pit straight? And let's have a look at V1 Jord. Is he heading into the pits at this stage? He is heading into the pits. And let's see where he comes out. Will he come out ahead or behind Kraken and Isettens? Isettens does try the move, but Kraken is doing some fantastic defending there. V1 Jord just heading into the box there now. He's got a new set of medium tires on, and he makes his way out. Oh, looks like there was contact between Kraken and Isettens, and now Isettens up into P4 has now got his sights on V1 Jord, but that is a disaster for Kraken, who was set for a good finish. It's now dropped right down to P11 with 8 laps to go. Not sure what happened between the two drivers, but it was fantastic battling between the two, so it probably just was a little moment between the two of them there. Not much that could be done. Isettens now 0.7 seconds off V1 Jord. He's battling for that final podium spot. iZombie now behind Late Bloomer. McLaren driver just 0.4 seconds off the Alfa Romeo. And it's DRS for iZombie, and he's getting the overtake done on Late Bloomer, and he's ahead going into the corner. Isettens has dropped off a little bit from V1 Jord, so he will not get DRS. As Kraken heads into the pits. Oh, it's been a disaster finish to this race for him. Into the pits, a new front wing and a set of medium tyres to do him for the end of the race. And the Haas driver right down in P13. It's just an absolute disaster for him. He was set for a good race, and unfortunately it has not worked out how he would like, but you'll still get a decent amount of points anyway for that finish, and hopefully better luck in the next race. Isettens is keeping up with V1 Jord, just one second between the two drivers, but he is going to have to try and come up with something to overtake V1 Jord, because V1 Jord is keeping a very good pace indeed, as Isettens does set the fastest lap time of the session. He is doing everything he can for that potential final podium place. There is just 6 laps left now, 6 laps left. And Kyle is heading into the pits, not exactly sure what's going on. He sets this, he puts on the soft tires. I think he has confidence that he could catch up to RKA 25 on those soft tires in the remaining stages of the race. There is a 9-second gap between the two drivers. Let's see what he can do. Just having a look at RKA 25's tires, he is 16 laps into those medium tires. I imagine they're falling off a cliff right now, so very, very possible indeed the FTR car will be able to catch up in time. There is an 8-second gap at the minute, so let's see what happens as Kraken retires from the race. Like I said, it's such a shame for his race to end the way it did. He was on for a good finish. And already the gap for FTR Kyle has dropped down to 6.4 seconds. That is unbelievable how quickly that gap is closing. Just have a look at penalties now. We have a safety car out. This is an interesting finish to the race. A smooth DNFs. Wow. How will this safety car play out with just 4 laps left to go? Safety car is absolutely going to spice things up here. So I imagine the RKA 25 will probably come in for a set of soft tires. That's my prediction anyway, and given that, what will happen is FTR Kyle will go ahead of him, but he still should come out ahead of V1 George, so he will be right behind FTR Kyle and on fresher soft tires, so it could be a really good battle between RKA 25 and FTR Kyle. So let's see what happens here as the Aston Martin of RKA 25 heads round that hairpin corner. And is he heading towards the pits? He is heading into the pits. Goes quite wide there in the pit entry. So let's see how this goes. FTR Kyle does go ahead there and past RKA 25 for that P1 spot. RKA 25 getting the fresh soft tires on. He's released, and you can see he has came out well ahead of V1 George, and he will slot in directly behind FTR Kyle, and this is going to be an exciting battle in the closing stages of this race. Not seeing many other drivers heading into the pits at this stage. Late bloomer, I thought he would go in with 16 laps on those hard tires. Good opportunity for him to put a set of soft tires on, and he could be in a really good position to fight with some of those guys who are ahead of him on used medium tires. So and Late Bloomer comes out in P8 with a fresh set of softs on. V1 George in a bit of an unfortunate position here because the Red Bull of Nate who is a back marker, is between him, and unfortunately there's not much that can be done there. The game won't allow overtakes. We are still waiting for a number of the drivers to catch up to that safety car queue. We just have 6 drivers behind the safety car queue as it stands. And there we have a safety car is in this lap. FTR Cal has been given plenty of notice. And this is going to be a very exciting end to the race with just 2 laps left. You can see the drivers weaving from side to side, trying to get as much heat and temperature into those tires as possible. And this is going to be an interesting restart. As FTR Kyle keeps the pack bunched up quite nicely still. And he gets the power back on. And RK25 is chasing him down. He is hunting him down. Can he get the overtake on FTR Kyle? Just 0.4 seconds separating these 2 drivers. RK25 on slightly fresher soft tyres. He is doing a good job to keep up with FTR Kyle, but can he get an overtake? If he can keep as close as this, he could get an overtake down the back straight. And he is gaining, but it is not enough just yet to get an overtake done. But he is very, very close to the Williams as he is about to cross the lap for the final lap of the race. Can FTR Cal hold out and keep RK25 at bay? RK25 is doing absolutely anything that he can to get the overtake done. He is very close indeed. He does have plenty of ERS. He's got over half of his ERS. He's got plenty of opportunity to try and get this move done. He's just got this back straight now, but it does look like FTR Carl is pulling away quite a bit. I don't think he's going to get the move. I think FTR Carl will keep that first place spot. You can see he's weaving from side to side, trying to break the slipstream that RK25 is getting. The slip breaking from RK25. There's a little bit of contact between the drivers as RK25 leaves that a little bit too late. And there we have it, folks. FTR Carl crossing the final corner, and he sees the checkered flag, and it is P1 for FTR Carl, RK25 in P2, V1 Jord in P3. iSentence bumps up into P3 due to penalties. iZombie down to P6 or P7 as Dawson slots up into P6, and we are seeing the drivers all crossing the line. And that is our Chinese Grand Prix, folks. All divisions will be having a break next week over the Christmas holidays, and we'll be back the following week for the Jeddah circuit.